Okay, Matt, it is so nice to get to meet you in person.
Pleasure to meet you, Rob.
We've talked on the phone twice,
Yeah.
and of course we just got through the big honkin' press conference,
Sure.
which I must admit I hijacked.
Why not?
I apologize for that.
Hey,
But
if you've got good questions, ask them.
yeah, well, basically I have nothing else to say to you, so it was really nice and
Yeah.
it was good to meet
Thanks
you.
for coming.
You touched on something that a friend of mine said, and I thought, what a trenchant observation, and I wasn't really sure. It was very unquantifiable, but how about being the youngest Doctor Who, and yet also the oldest?
Yeah.
And it was a sense that this friend of mine got from your performance, and I thought, well, absolutely, that's true. And I had to think about what made that so, because in a lot of ways, he's a very young Doctor Who. He's the naivete
Yeah.
and the excitement, and yet he does convey this. And he's not like jaded or particularly wise as compared to the other doctors, or bitter or any of that stuff that comes with age.
Yeah.
And yet he does. You evoke that somehow. I'm wondering.
I mean, that was always sort of one of the things I was really interested in because, his age is undeniable. He is 900 plus years old. So I think, that's got to be recognised in the performance at some point. And I think with time to be around that long, it does something to you. It does something hopefully in the performance as well. So that was also what I was very sort of interested in.
And how do you find that within yourself? I mean, and I realized because we talked just before the first season aired, and you were still kind of finding him as he was finding himself.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I'm very lucky that the scripts are so. That allow such adventure and play in the performance, and that they set a lot of that up, and it's a collaboration really between me and Steven, and you pick your moments wisely where the Doctor looks back on life. And actually, weirdly enough, my granddad's a great source. Because he has such a great sense of humour. But his humour is still there, and to hear him talk is, I've taken a lot from him and my dad, actually, weirdly enough.
And any actor who takes on a role, there is a process, and in your case, it happened very quickly, where the actor grows into the role and the writers grow into the actor. And I think someone was saying on stage how, on the page, they could just sort of see, oh yeah, I could see Matt doing that. And it's gotten to the point now in the second season where the character is just so specific. It's so sharply honed. I mean, do you feel that?
I hope so. I mean, I think there's a long way to go. And I think what's great, hopefully there is an evolution from when I first started playing the Doctor, and you see a difference. And I hope next season there'll be a difference again. I don't know what that will be, but I always said that I'd like them over the 3 years to be slightly, just to have evolved as any character does. I mean, credit where credit's due, I'm very lucky to have what I believe to be one of the greatest science fiction writers on the planet.
Yes.
He's a true genius. So he does a lot of the work for you. But I love getting his script. It's always very exciting.
And the wonderful thing that Steven is able to do is this combination of the drama and this apocalyptic peril and these wonderful moments of humor, largely character-driven humor. I think my favorite line in the pilot was when he's figuring out what he likes to eat, and he just says to Amy, "You Scottish, fry something."
Yeah, it's great. Right? I know Steven's a very funny man, and has a very dry, ironic sense of humour. He's a very clever man as well. So hopefully, I think the Doctor should always be funny. Absolutely, he should always have a funny bone to it.
And again, and I mentioned this in the press conference too, is that the relationship with Amy, she's a very different kind of companion, and their relationship is again very different. And you would have think that by now this character would have explored all possibilities of the relationship, and there have been so many different ones. I mean, there's Sarah Jane, a fabulous Liz Slademan, God rest her.
Yeah.
That was a huge loss. She was just
It really was.
phenomenal.
She was a lovely lady.
Yeah.
I've got to say, like her real grace and a real sense of youth.
Yeah.
I keep
Yeah.
saying that about her, but it's really true. And it was just so quick as well. It was yeah, she's missed.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just saw the second season of Sarah Jane Adventures. It was again hitting a stride. But she had a very specific relationship with two doctors, and again different with each of them. And there have been so many variations on it, and yet this is something completely new and completely different, and with layers to it that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
That's the exciting part.
I know. I mean, but, that's a testament to Steven's writing. And again, what a wonderful way to be introduced to a companion. Mm-hmm. Isn't it great? It's such a great concept.
Oh,
read
yeah.
as a little girl. And you can keep going back
Yeah,
as well. So
yeah.
it's,
Well, especially because the young Amy Pond is her niece, is
Yeah.
she not?
she is. They're cousins.
Yeah, cousins. That's it. Yeah.
It's wonderful, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's quite phenomenal. But and there is again the levels to this relationship are absolutely fascinating, and as it keeps evolving. I mean, I love the fact that she just takes the piss out of him all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and she finds the Doctor completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
When he finds himself not ridiculous, and and then of course you throw River Song into the mix.
Oh, yeah.
And now he's just like he's got this triangle of people telling him off all the time. Stop telling me off.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the women in his life are just
Unbearable.
And again, yet another amazing aspect of this dynamic, and I didn't realize he was going to have such a big part in the series initially, because he kind of showed up and then disappeared. But the Rory character.
Yeah, he's great. And you know what? As the latter part of this particular season evolves, he's doing great work, Arthur.
Oh.
He's really throwing in a great performance, and as is Karen actually. I think she's really, they're really pushing the boundaries of their parts, and it's a privilege to work alongside them both, I've got to say.
And again, you guys are like a well-oiled machine. I mean, it's just because this is also, and I think it's a characteristic of Steven's writing. It's so fast.
Yeah, and I hope there is that people sense that there is a real, genuine relationship between us as actors.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. Because that always informs the performance.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, so many people get up here at these press conferences and go, "Oh, we're just like a family," and it's usually complete crap.
Yeah.
Because you can tell, you can see on screen, it totally infuses the relationship on screen.
Absolutely.
Now, this is a very different season for a number of reasons. Now, we talked about this at the beginning of the season, and there's a lot of new monsters.
Yeah.
And really creepy monsters.
Yeah.
I mean, which again infuses it with this whole new life. And we're not going to forget about the Daleks and the Cybermen.
Absolutely not.
They're all around. But again, it just fleshing out this 50-year-old show.
I know, and yet, isn't it incredible that you can still invent?
Yeah.
After 50 years, you can invent more, and I think that's a testament to the sort of scope and quality of the show.
Yeah. And the concept. And again, Steve was talking about this again in the press conference. I mean, initially, the whole idea of reincarnating the Doctor was the fact that William Hartnell was ill and couldn't continue.
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes the greatest accidents are
I mean, and actually, as he said, as a format, it's kind of unparalleled, really.
Yeah.
Because it's so clever.
And that's a good deal of the show's longevity. But it is, I mean, North Americans, although they have certainly embraced this show, I think it's the close equivalent of Star Trek, where it is so infused the culture.
Here, yeah, exactly.
And the testament to that is you're the first Doctor who has grown up when there was no Doctor on television.
Yeah, well, I know, remarkably. You sort of can't believe that they ever took it off.
Yeah, really. But again, it's so much a part of the culture that you can't help to have been aware of it.
Oh yeah,
in a significant way.
Absolutely, and aware of Daleks and TARDISes, and you just are.
Yeah.
It's sort of ingrained in your DNA somewhere.
Yeah, it's just all part of being British.
Yeah.
All part of growing up and being British.
You are British. You will understand Doctor Who.
Yeah, but talking about the American reception, I think the show is more popular here now than it has ever been.
Yeah, it's really growing, and I'm told like in Canada as well.
It's huge.
It's doing well, right?
It's the biggest thing that's been on Space ever.
Really?
Space Channel.
And is Space a big channel?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's the science fiction Channel. That's the
Yeah.
equivalent of sci-fi here.
Yeah.
I mean, Doctor Who. I think Canadians also respond to it even more so than Americans, because first of all, we were the first ones to get it.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, no, actually, no, that's true. We were the first ones to get it. But also there's the very British sensibility to being Canadian. I mean, it's often hasn't often been said, but somebody once said to me that American humor is the art of overstatement, and British humor is the art of understatement, and Canadian humor is the art of listening very politely. but we do lean towards that British sensibility. But here in America now, you just came out of Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And I gathered the reception was staggering.
It was remarkable. I mean, I shan't forget it, I got to say, and it's a testament to the fans of the show, really, that they can fill that room and come out in such force, with such ferocity and passion.
Yeah.
And I'm very grateful for them for all turning up and queuing, because it was a once in a lifetime thing.
I've been in those queues. It's like 6-7 hours to get into Hall H.
Yeah, well, exactly, right?
One of the Star Trek people, Jerry Ryan, described to me her first convention. I don't think it was Comic-Con, but the first time she went to the convention, it was like a huge wave of unconditional love just washed over her.
Wow.
And I gathered the experience was somewhat similar for you guys.
Yeah, it was, as I say, just something that I shan't forget, because it's a once in a lifetime experience. To be part of a show that has that, or that evokes that response from people is cool.
Yeah. And American fans tend to be a little more demonstrative than British fans.
Enthusiasm, which is nice. Yeah.
But I mean, was it all? Because I know I've talked to people like Jim Parsons' Big Bang Theory was actually a little uncomfortable about it. Like, everybody's walking around wearing T-shirts, and how many people did you see dressed up as you?
Oh, quite a lot actually. Me and Karen bumped into some guys dressed as the Doctor, and a really convincing Amy Pond actually. So, and we were like, whoa, oh my god, it was cool. But I kind of like all that. I think that's the spirit of the place, which makes it unique and interesting, and there's a freedom to being enthusiastic there, which is really.
Oh, it
enjoyable,
is. Yeah, and the dressing up, and it's and science fiction, I think, is unique in this to a degree. It's the participatory aspect of being a science fiction fan. You feel involved in it.
Which is great, and actually that's what's great about science fiction, isn't it? Is that, I mean, I think especially when there's layers and it's detailed, and Doctor Who at the moment really has that.
Yeah. Now, just again about this season or the rest of this season. Getting beyond the Hitler controversy, which is very amusing. I mean, really.
It's kind of ridiculous. I mean, it's drama,
Yeah.
It's make-believe.
Yeah. Especially after Quentin Tarantino and Inglourious Basterds, and when they riddled him full of machine gun bullets.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you're going to screw with history. But this, and I said this earlier, it's a very different season in that, and again, I've only seen the first half, but this storyline, this incredibly strong,
serialized.
It follows through, and I gathered this huge cliffhanger that we had at the end of the first 6 is finally resolved at the end of the 12. But structurally, it's very different than what we're used to.
Yeah, and I think that's quite inventive, and I think actually, this show has always been at the edge of being inventive. It's always invented and pushed forward, and so why not continue to do it, and why not continue to explore how to tell the stories, how to deliver the episodes, especially when there's great cliffhangers like there is in this. So it's I think it's kind of interesting.
Still fun, huh?
Yeah. Oh man, I love playing the Doctor. Great friends with Karen. Steven completely rocks my world. I won't get many jobs like this.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that, and I won't get many jobs where the fans are as cool and sort of into the show as they are on this. So it's, it's you've got to go, yeah, thanks, I'm alive, I'm all right, it's good.
Thank you so much for this.
Mate,
it's so great.
to meet you, man.
It's so great to see you.
Face to face, right?
Yeah, right.
As opposed to being on the phone.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thank
Rob.
you so much. That
Cheers,
was
buddy.
great.